Good day everyone, I am Rohana A. Salik and together with my partner Laika P. Kasan, we will present our topic about the taxing powers of local government units including cities and barangays. In this presentation, we will explain the different sections in a simple and easy to understand way with examples. We hope this will help you better understand how local governments collect taxes and fees and how these are used to provide services to the community. And now, sisimulan natin sa Section 151, Scope of Taxing Powers of Cities. Ang section na ito ay nagsasabi na ang city ay may kapangyarihang maningil ng buwis, fees at charges, katulad ng probinsya at munisipyo, para may pondo sa mga serbisyo katulad ng kalsada, hospital, paaralan at kalinisan ng lungsod. So, ang mga highly urbanized cities at independent component cities ay sa kanila napupunta ang lahat ng makokolektang pera. So, pinapayagan din ang city na maningil ng mas mataas na tax hanggang 50% kumpara sa munisipyo o probinsya. So, maliban sa mga professional at amusement taxes. So, ang halimbawa nito is kung ang munisipyo ay naniningil ng 100 pesos na buwis, ang city ay maaaring maningil ng hanggang 150 dahil mas marami itong serbisyong kailangang pondohan. And now, let's move on to the section 152, which talk about the taxing power of barangays. So, barangays, bilang pinakamaliit na unit ng local government, may kapangyarihang ding maningil ng taxes at fees, pero ang pera na makokolekta ay direktang mapupunta sa barangay at ginagamit sa mga proyekto at serbisyo para sa community, tulad ng street lights, barangay tanod at iba pang programs. So sa section na ito is may 4 na paraan kung paano kumita ang barangay. Una ay ang section 152, Tax on Small Businesses. Section 151A, Barangay Tax on Small Businesses. Sa ilalim ng section na ito, pinapayagan ang barangay na maningil ng tax sa maliliit na negosyo lamang. Sa mga city, pwedeng singilin ang stores na may kita na 50,000 pababa sa isang taon, habang sa mga municipality naman ay 30,000 pababa. So, ang tax ay hindi lalampas sa 1% ng kanilang gross sale para hindi mabigatan ang maliliit na negosyante. So, ang halimbawa nito, kung ang sari-sari store ay kumita ng 10,000 sa isang taon, hanggang 100 pesos lang ang pwedeng singilin ng barangay bilang tax. So, pangalawang section 152B, Barangay Service Fees or Charges. So, sa section na ito, ay nagpapahintulot sa barangay na maningil ng service fees para sa mga serbisyong ibinibigay nito o sa paggamit ng barangay owned facilities. So, ang fees na ito ay dapat reasonable at ginagamit para sa maintenance ng mga kagamitan. So, ang halimbawa, kung gumamit ang isang magsasaka ng barangay palay dryer, maaaring maningil ang barangay ng maliit na bayad para mapanatiling maayos ang pasilidad at magamit pa ng iba. Pangatlong section, under 152, Barangay Clearance. So, ayon sa section na ito, is kailangan mo ng kumita ng barangay clearance. Ayon sa section na ito, kailangan mo ng kumuha ng barangay clearance bago makakuha ng business permit mula sa city o municipality. So, ang clearance ay patunay na ang isang negosyo ay legal at walang problema sa barangay. So, pwedeng maningil ang barangay ng reasonable fee at dapat itong iproseso sa loob ng ah, 7 working days. So, halimbawa, kung magbubukas ka ng karinderya, kailangan mo munang kumuha ng barangay clearance bago ka makapag-operate. And lastly, Section 152D, other barangay fees and charges. So, sa section na ito is pwedeng maningil ang barangay ng iba pang fees sa mga aktibidad tulad ng cockfighting or cook pits, places or recreation na may entrance fee at billboards, signboards at neon signs. So, layunin nito na maayos na ma-regulate ang mga ganitong aktibidad at magkaroon ng pondo ang barangay. So, halimbawa, kung may malaking billboard sa loob ng barangay is maaaring singilin ito ng barangay ng advertising fee. And now, let's move on to the last section, 154, Public Utility Charges. So, ayon sa section 154, ang LGU ay maaaring maningil ng toll fees or charges sa pamamagitan ng public utilities tulad ng kalsada, tulay, prior, at iba pa na sila ang nagpapagawa at gumastos. Ngunit may mga hindi kailangang magbayad tulad ng sundalo at pulis na naka-duty, post office workers na naghahatid ng sulat, person with disabilities at senior citizen na may edad na 65 years old pataas. So, halimbawa, sa isang toll bridge, ang ordinaryong tao ay may bayad pero ang senior citizen ay libre. So, kapag kailangan para sa kaligtasan ng publiko, maaaring itigil ng LGU ang paniningil at gawing libre ang paggamit ng pasilidad. So, kapag delikado o kailangan para sa kaligtasan at kapakanan ng mga tao, is pwedeng itigil ng sanggunian ang paniningil ng toll. So, kapag tinigil na ang paniningil, ang daan o pasilidad ay magiging libre at pwedeng gamitin ng lahat ng tao. So, halimbawa is kung may bagyo o emergency is pwedeng gawing libre ang daan, ang toll bridge para mas mabilis at ligtas makadaan ng mga tao. That's all and thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Laika Picasan and I will be the next reporter. So I will be discussing the section 156 to 160. Section 156, Community Tax. Cities or municipalities may levy a community tax must be imposed in accordance with the provision of this article. So this section states that cities and municipalities in the Philippines have the authority or rights to collect community tax. This tax is commonly known as the cedula or community tax certificate. Section 157. Individuals liable to community tax. Every inhabitant of the Philippines, 18 years old or above, is liable if they have been regularly employed on a wage or salary basis for at least 30 consecutive working days in a calendar year, or are engaged in business or an occupation, or own real property with aggregate assets value of 1,000 or more, or are required by law to file an income tax return. So this section explains who must pay the community tax and how much they need to pay. Who needs to pay the community tax? Any person who is 18 years old or older and meets at least one of the following: has been employed on a wage or salary basis for at least 30 consecutive working days in a year, or is engaged in business or any occupation, or own a real property with a total assessed value of 1,000 or more, or is required by law to file an income tax return. If a person meets any of these conditions, they are required to pay a community tax. A person required to pay will pay. So basic annual community tax, 5 pesos per year. Additional annual tax, 1 peso for every 1,000 of income. For income from business, profession, salary, or property, maximum limit, the total additional cannot exceed 5,000 if the person earns more income. So, purpose of community tax, people usually pay the community tax to get a cedula which is required for certain legal documents, business permits, government transactions, court appearance, and other official purposes. Section 158, Juridical Persons Liable. Juridical persons required to pay a community tax. All corporation, regardless of how they were created or organized, whether domestic or resident foreign, must be engaged in or doing business in the Philippines. So, this section state that every corporation, regardless of how it was formed or organized, must pay a community tax if it's engaged in doing in business in the Philippines. This includes domestic corporation created in the Philippines or resident foreign corporation, foreign companies doing business in the Philippines. Section 159, Exemption. Entities exempt from community tax, diplomatic and consular representatives, transient visitors, staying not more than 3 months. So, this section states that the following person are not required to pay a community tax and cannot be compiled to get a cedula. First is diplomatic and consular representative. These are the foreign officials like ambassadors and consuls who are exempt under international law. Transient visitors, foreigners who stays in the Philippines does not exceed 3 months. Section 160, Place of Payment, where to pay community tax, individuals, place of residence, juridical entities, place where the principal office is located. So, from the title itself, place of payment is kung here ka nakatira sa Philippines, is doon ka magbabayad sa office. And kapag juridical entities naman is where the principal office is located or the head office kung saan magbabayad ng community tax. That's all, and thank you for listening, everyone.